With dove season around the corner, I'm noticing a lot of my dove videos are getting a lot more activity and also some great comments. Backed by popular demand, we're going to talk chemicals. And as a part of that, I want to lay out what I call a herbicide cheat sheet for our sunflower operation out here. We're out here middle of April and we're getting the spray tank ready, and that's a perfect segue into this video. Herbicide cheat sheet for Clearfield sunflowers? Let's do it. So for the first part of this, we're talking initial herbicide burn down, and that's going to be the springtime spraying that we do to get the field ready. This was last year's sunflower field, and it was set in deer food plot after the season ended. And we've got a ton of Austrian winter peas and a lot of oats in here. And the turkeys have actually been in here feeding on this. This has turned out to be a great springtime turkey plot as well. But for sunflowers, we don't want any of this. So we're going to burn it all down with herbicide 14 days prior to planting is what I do. And to do that, I'm using a 41% glyphosate with a built-in surfactant at 2 quarts per acre. That's the rate we are using, 2 quarts per acre of glyphosate with a built-in surfactant 14 days before planting. 2 years ago, I actually tried a different method of initial burn down where I mixed in flumioxin with glyphosate, but that's got a 30-day setback. So I had to do that really early in the spring, and I think I ended up missing out on a lot of the spring, early summer weeds that were coming in here. So I'm not going to recommend burning this whole field down with glyphosate and flumioxin 1st of April. I think it's beneficial to wait that couple more weeks, just go with straight glyphosate, and you can come in and plant right behind it. The second part of the herbicide application after the initial burn down is at the time of planting. That's putting down our pre-emergence. Sunflowers, there's a good handful of products you can use for sunflowers for pre-emergent. The ones that I have particularly been fond of is Spartan Charge, which is carfentrazone and sulfentrazone, as well as metolachlor. Both of those combined seem to do a pretty good job with weed control pre-emergent. The pre-emergence gets sprayed after all this has been burned down, tilled under, and the seeds been put in the ground. We'll come back in and spray the pre-emergent over top of the bare soil out here. Metolachlor we apply at 2 pints per acre. 2 pints per acre. That's the max label rate for the metolachlor. And for the Spartan Charge, I applied 8 ounce per acre. I believe that is the max rate for that as well. I always go max rate, and I've never had any crop damage using the max herbicide label. So 2 pints per acre for metolachlor, 8 ounces per acre of the Spartan Charge. I've got fairly good weed control in years past, but grasses always seem to come in on me, fescue, some foxtails. I always seem to have an onset of grasses. So this year, I'm actually gonna go ahead and throw the kitchen sink at it and mix in pendimethalin. And a very common name of that is Prowl H2O or Prowl herbicide. That is a grass-specific yellow, it's in your yellow category of herbicides, and that's going to specifically target the grasses. So there'll be metolachlor, Spartan Charge, and pendimethalin going on top of the bare dirt this year in an effort to really keep these sunflowers clean. The pendimethalin gets applied at 3 pints per acre. I believe that is also the label rate, 3 pints per acre of the pendimethalin. There's actually a pretty good handful of doves flying around out here, and that's the benefit of having these grain crops in here and let them go into maturity. It's actually providing a springtime seed for the doves to feed on. This whole field is oats, but the other 2 fields you saw me planting winter wheat. Let's go take a look at them. So last year, this was brown top millet, and we're doing that again this year. Had a lot of success with that. And this was planted in wheat after the brown top millet came through. You can see the wheat seeds, they're maturing out as well. This field, I am not going to spray down with herbicide. I'm actually going to let that wheat run to full maturity, and I'll plant the millet about 30 days after I plant the sunflowers to help stagger that timing closer to season. So all this wheat is going to dry out and fall on the ground and be an abundant food source for these doves all spring and early summer. So we've talked initial burn down with glyphosate 2 weeks before planting. We've talked pre-emergence at the time of planting. Now we're going to talk post-emergent spraying, Clearfield sunflowers only. Do not spray this product if you're doing just regular black oil Pronovic sunflowers. Clearfield variety sunflowers allow you the use of imazamox. The common labeled product for that is Beyond herbicide. The Clearfield varieties of sunflowers are much more expensive, but they allow you the use of imazamox post-emergent spraying. Imazamox is very expensive when you purchase the Beyond herbicide container. It's a gallon product. I think it's like 600 bucks. If you've watched past videos, you know I go off label and use an aquatic version of imazamox called IMOX. The exact same active ingredient, exact same percent active ingredient, and I have never had any issues damaging the sunflowers. And it's sold in quart-sized containers at a fraction of the price. For post-spraying your sunflowers, I normally wait to I think it's the 8-leaf stage. I'll have to double check that. But I spray it at 4 ounces to the acre. That's not much product. And I normally take about 30 gallons of water to cover that acre, only applying 4 ounces of imazamox to the acre. I also mix in clethodim. Clethodim is a grass-specific herbicide, not going to affect the sunflowers whatsoever. Third thing I mix in is a surfactant, a non-ionic, nitrogen-based surfactant. NitroSurf is what I personally have been using. So those 3 products combined, you can spray over Clearfield sunflowers and have really good post-emergent weed control. The NitroSurf label, I believe, is 1 to 2 pints per acre, but I went ahead and bumped that up last year based on some viewer feedback to 3 pints per acre, and we had a lot of leaf foliage growth. Sunflowers turned out fantastic, and we did not burn them. So I think that's a little bit above the label, but you can go up to 3 pints per acre in our experience. The clethodim, you can apply up to 16 ounces per acre. I think you can go as low as 8, but all the way up to 16 ounces. I go label rate on everything. You know, if it's safe enough for it. I've got a lot of weeds out here. I want the maximized weed control if I'm gonna take that tractor across this field and burn that time and energy. On a small acreage, it's pretty cost effective to do that. If you're talking 100 acres of sunflowers, it would not be an efficient, cost effective way. But on small acreage, I think it works just fine for the budget. There it is, the herbicide cheat sheet video. I hope that was helpful for you guys. Just a quick and dirty summary of how we do our farming out here. Not saying it's the exact right way, not saying it's the only way, but it is a way that has worked for us to some degree and some level and has worked within our budget. So that's what we use to spray our Clearfield sunflowers. It's worked pretty well in the past for us. Hopefully you can adopt a similar program and get the same success. We'll be out here in a couple weeks spraying herbicide. Can't believe it, but we're all ready to go dove farming. We'll catch you on the next one. You're gonna get ticks, boy. Your mama's gonna get mad at me. We got you tucked in though, don't we?